This is a story called In the Child's Best Interest. Susan and George are a young couple who have 3 young daughters, Kaylee aged 12, Marnie aged 10 and Elena aged 8, and twin boys, Larry and Lenny aged 6. One day little Elena is playing football with her friends when her ball rolled down the hill and onto a main road. Without thinking, she ran out in front of an oncoming car. The driver didn't have enough time to stop, and she hit little Elena. She flew through the air and hit the car windscreen and the road head first. An ambulance was called and she was rushed to hospital in a critical condition. The driver was devastated and she was in shock and she couldn't stop crying. On arrival at the hospital, little Elena was unable to breathe for herself, so the doctors put her on life support and took her to the high dependency unit. They said that because of her injuries, she probably wouldn't survive, and if she did, she'd never walk or talk again. Elena remained in a coma and on life support for 3 months. When the doctors tried to remove her breathing tube, she was unable to breathe for herself, so they had to reinsert it. However, about 5 minutes later, she suddenly flatlined, but thankfully the doctors were able to bring her back and get her stable again. She remained stable for a few days and then she flatlined 3 more times. And the last time, one of the doctors said to her parents, "I'm so sorry, but your little girl's brain dead. There's nothing more we can do for her. We will be turning off her life support machine very soon. Please prepare to say goodbye." My daughter is not brain dead. If she was, then she wouldn't respond when we speak to her and touch her. With all due respect, Mrs. Smitherson, but that's what's known as involuntary reflexes. Your daughter's brain dead and there's no more that we can do for her. We will be turning off her machines. With all due respect, Doctor, but I agree with my wife. You are not giving up on our daughter and you're not turning off her machines. She responds to us when we touch her and talk to her. Like I told your wife, your daughter's brain dead and her machines will be switched off as there's no more that we can do for her. Well, you won't be doing anything until I've spoken to my brother-in-law. He's a solicitor and he has over 10 years' experience of dealing with this kind of thing. Later that day, George spoke to his brother-in-law and he agreed to help. He told him and Suzanne to keep a record of every time Elena reacted to them, touching her and speaking to her. Everyone that visited her in hospital recorded her responding to them on their phones. The videos were shown in court and the judge ordered that Elena was to be assessed by another doctor before a decision was made on her future. The new doctor assessed Elena and she said to her parents and the original doctor, "This child is not brain dead. She's responding to everything I do and say to her. I will reduce her life support and I'll explain to her what I'm doing. I have over 20 years' experience of being a doctor and I've seen many patients who are brain dead and have died, but this little girl isn't brain dead. She's very much alive." The new doctor reduced Elena's life support and she was able to breathe for herself straight away, and within minutes she was talking. She was still quite sick, but she was out of the woods. The original doctor had only been qualified for 6 months and she was mortified by what she'd done and she couldn't stop crying. The new doctor said to her, "It's okay, Dr. Robinson. You made a mistake. Don't let this one mistake ruin your career. You're still learning, and everyone makes mistakes, and we all learn from them." After almost 5 months, little Elena was released from hospital. She couldn't walk or stand unaided, and her speech was slurred and limited. However, she works incredibly hard with her speech therapist and her physiotherapist. Then one day, her mum's sister Jenny announced that she was getting married, and she asked Elena to be her maid's bridesmaid, and she agreed. After that, she asked her parents if they would just drop her off at the speech and physiotherapy. But of course, because of her age, they weren't allowed to do that. Then about 2 months after coming out of hospital, she got sick. She was rushed to hospital and was diagnosed with meningitis. However, thankfully she wasn't bad with it and she made a full recovery. One day she got out of her wheelchair and walked independently for the first time in months. She only took a few steps, but she was really proud of herself. And she said to her family, "Mummy, Daddy, everyone, look, I'm walking. Look, I'm doing it. I'm walking. We see you, baby girl, we see you," said Suzanne. "Mummy, Daddy, everyone, please don't tell Auntie Janie and Uncle Chris that I took a few steps. I want to surprise them by walking down the aisle." "Oh, that's a lovely idea, sweetheart. Thank you, Daddy." On the wedding day, Elena arrived at the church in her wheelchair. Once all the guests had arrived and everyone sat down, Elena shouted, "Hey, Auntie Janie, Uncle Chris, look at me. Look at what I'm doing." Janie and Chris turned round along with all the guests and saw Elena walking down the aisle independently without any help from anyone and without walking aids. Everyone gave her a round of applause. At the reception there was another surprise from Elena when she got up and sang the song that her auntie and uncle had chosen for their first dance, again reducing them to tears. The lady who knocked Elena over was still quite upset by what had happened, but no one blamed her. Everyone, including the police, had told her that it wasn't her fault, but she still blamed herself. A few weeks after the wedding, Elena started to feel unwell again and she said to her parents, "Mummy, Daddy, I don't feel too good. I have a rash all over my body and I hurt all over." Before her parents could do or say anything, she collapsed and started fitting. They immediately called an ambulance. When they arrived at the hospital, she was unconscious and unresponsive, so the doctors put her back on life support. She was diagnosed with meningitis again and she remained unconscious and unresponsive for 2 weeks. Nothing the doctors did made a difference. She wasn't responding to any of the treatment. In the end, several doctors examined her and all of them said that nothing more could be done for her, and the kindest thing to do was to turn off all the machines that were keeping her alive and to let her go. "You're not giving up on our daughter. I will not allow that to happen." "With all due respect, Mr. Smitherson, your daughter is brain dead. All her internal organs are failing and she's not responding to any treatment." George and Suzanne were really upset and George said, "You will not turn any of my daughter's machines off until I've spoken to my solicitor." He spoke to their solicitor and the case went to court. However, after the judge had spoke to all the doctors, she said, After hearing all the evidence, I believed that it would be in the child's best interest to turn off her life support machine and to let her slip away peacefully, as it's clear to me that there's nothing more that can be done for her. I'm so sorry for your loss, Mr. and Mrs. Smitherton. On hearing this, Suzanne screamed and broke down in tears in the courtroom. The doctors decided that they would turn off all Elena's machines the following day. However, as they were doing so, she suddenly coughed, opened her eyes, and took a deep breath in. No one could believe it. Everyone thought that she was brain dead and that there was no hope for her. She was still very sick, but over the next week she improved dramatically, and she went from strength to strength. After she'd been in hospital for 5 weeks, she was well enough to go home. No one could believe it, and they all called her the living miracle. She even made the news and was on the front page of every newspaper in the country. Once she was well enough, she went on this morning and she had everyone in stitches with her funny, witty and amazing personality. She even sang for them, and Amanda Holden came on and invited her to audition for Britain's Got Talent. She did it and she got Amanda's golden buzzer as she went through to the final and won first place. Even though she'd missed the first few weeks of the school year, she was still allowed to move up to year 4. However, she was a very bright and clever girl, so it didn't take her long to catch up. The staff helped her a bit, and along with the other kids, they'd nicknamed her Miracle because she really was a living miracle. Every day she went from strength to strength, both at school and at home. Everywhere she went, she would have everyone in stitches with her witty, funny and huge personality and the things she'd randomly come out with. Her family, friends and teachers didn't care if she wound them up, annoyed them or misbehaved. They were just glad that she was alive and well. Within just 2 weeks she'd caught up with all the work that she'd missed, and she was on the top table. Every day she amazed everyone with her strength, resilience and courage. Everyone was extremely proud of her, especially her parents. Over time, Elena continued to make huge progress, both at home and at school. In no time at all, she was already 11 and ready to move into high school. She did her 11 plus exams and she sailed through them, achieving the highest grades and putting her in all the top sets in high school. She absolutely loved school and she always got the highest grades possible. When she was old enough to leave school, she stayed on for a further 2 years and she achieved top grades in all of her A-levels. This meant that she had all the right grades required for her to join medical school and become a doctor, which was her dream. When one of her new friends asked her why her nickname was Miracle, her best friend, who was also in medical school, said, "That's because she really is a living miracle." Then Elena said, "When I was 8, I was hit by a car and the doctor said that I was brain dead. She wanted to turn off my life support machine, but my parents wouldn't let her because I was responding to them, touching and talking to me. I made a full recovery, but then I got meningitis twice, and the second time I wasn't responding to any treatment. My parents went to court to stop the doctors turning off my life support machine. The judge said that the best thing for me was turn off my machine and let me slip away. When the doctors turned my machine off, I suddenly took a deep breath in, coughed and then opened my eyes. As you can see, I lived to tell the tale and I made a full recovery. That's how I got the nickname Miracle. Wow, Elena, that's an amazing story. The nickname really does suit you. If you don't mind me asking, is that why you chose to become a doctor? Said Elena's new friend, Marianne. Well, I guess so, but I always said that I wanted to be a doctor, even as young as 3 years old. My parents bought me a doctor's kit a few times, and I used to go around pretending that everyone was sick and I was the doctor making them better. Elena sailed through medical school the same way she sailed through normal school as a child, and she achieved the highest grades possible. After finishing medical school, she worked for a doctor's surgery. She worked there for 3 years and then she went on to open her own practice, which is still going strong 10 years later. It's safe to say that she really was a living and walking miracle. In time, Elena went on to meet another doctor called Damon, and she went on to have 4 children of her own, Ethan and Emily, who were twins, and Holly and baby Elijah. They got married after they'd been together for 4 years, and after their youngest baby Elijah came along. She wanted her children to grow up surrounded by positivity, happiness, understanding, support and love the same way she did. She was extremely close to her family and they met as often as possible. All her siblings had kids and they were all close in age to her own kids. They all went to school together and they looked after each other. Elena told her story to many, many people over the years, and she even wrote her own biography, telling her remarkable story. She still sang whenever she could at weddings and parties, and sometimes in talent contests. That was something else she was talented at. All her family, her husband as well, supported her through thick and thin. Then she still had her funny, witty and huge personality, and her story amazed everyone who heard it, and it was heard all over the country. Her story inspired many people to go on fighting every battle they come across, to go on living and to fight for what was right, no matter how hard things were. Everyone loved, admired and respected her all around the country. The end. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you like it. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, please feel free to like, share, comment and subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, please feel free to like, share, comment and to go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. Take care of yourselves, guys. Love yous. Bye.